Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 133 of the Hunt-A-Day. I underestimated how much time, or overestimated, I don't have much time this morning to record, so for this hunt I needed to bring along the boys. The boys, of course, being Luchika and Hinoa, the two of the followers from Sunbreak. I might do a video just on the follower system, both in Sunbreak and Frontier, what I like about it, what I think should change, what I'm not a big fan of, all that fun stuff. But in general, I think it's a great system and is a really good way to expedite hunts if you need to, or like make some of the more brutal endgame monsters a little bit more manageable for playing solo. It definitely has some downsides though. But Hinoa and Luchika, when they are together with the hunter, just absolutely melt pretty much anything in the game. I did not expect this fight to take as little time as it did. But I'm kind of glad it did, because again, I'm in a bit of a rush. We're fighting Seregios today, and I like Seregios. I think he's a fine monster. He is the flagship of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. He's got a cool gimmick. I really like the way he moves. His flying dive kick attacks are very fun. Bleed is a status that I'm still kind of iffy on in terms of whether or not I like it. I feel like having to, aside from the item recovery, which is fine, but having to physically stop in the middle of a hunt and just stand there for a couple seconds, I don't know how I feel about that in terms of game design. I'm not a big fan. I get, it has a lot of risk reward. You need to balance when you're safe to de-bleed. I don't know, it's just not that fun to me. Seregios is a cool monster though. I really like its design. I think it looks really cool. It's got I don't know how to describe it other than to say it very much reminds me of a pine cone, a bearded dragon, and a hawk. All combined in a Jeff Goldblum The Fly machine, It being very much styled as a living weapon, almost all of its quest descriptions describe it as blades in the desert, or, describing it like a sword. And it looks really sharp. Every aspect of it is just jagged and this real blade coated design, not even accounting for the sword horn it's got on the front of its head, which is incredibly goofy but also kind of endearing. Design wise and again movement wise, I think Seregios is very strong. I love its dive kicks. I love how it just is constantly ping-ponging back and forth, around the arena, constantly throwing you off guard, making you reposition. It's not an easy monster to stay on top of. It is, however, very fun to fight with the lance, with weapons like lance and gun lance, because you make that monster come to you. You don't chase it around. No. It's going to come to you, and then you're going to make it suffer for it. I can definitely see it being a much more difficult fight with other weapons. I know there was a comment on a previous video about how it's a pain to fight with Insect Glaive, specifically because of how much it punishes in-air attacks and how much it moves out of the way, and I can definitely see that. I think my favorite thing about Seregios, though, and the reason that I don't really like it in Sunbreak, is my favorite part of Seregios was how in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, in the game it was released in, all of its weapons had the same gimmick, where when you dodged, when you rolled, you would sharpen your weapon a little bit. Or when you sheathed, it was either when you rolled or when you sheathed, I think rolled. You would sharpen your weapon a little bit, or if you had a bowgun, it would reload a bullet whenever you would roll. And they put that on an armor skill in Sunbreak, and I know why they did it, but it just kind of sucked to not have that be present on all of the Seregios weapons. It kind of made them lose their luster when, it was such a cool gimmick, and I would love to see in Wilds, because I know that they're doing, skills on weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds. That was one of the last few things I saw before I went spoiler free. So if Seregios manages to come back, I would love to see them do that blade scale hone skill on all of Seregios' weapons rather than having it tied to his armor. Just to make the weapons feel a bit more and in terms of if I think Seregios is going to come back in Monster Hunter Wilds, I don't know. He took a break between, Monster Hunter Generations and Monster Hunter World. He was not in that, and then showed back up in Sunbreak. I could see them bringing him back for Monster Hunter Wilds. You know, again, I have only seen, like, in detail, the desert map, and I've seen a little bit of the jungle map, the forest map, in the release date trailer back in September. And I could easily see Seregios flying around in the that desert area. I'm going to put Seregios kind of like a 6 or 7 on coming back. I think it's likely, but it just being in Rise kind of discounts it a little bit. I'm not sure. And again, I am spoiler-free on pretty much every new monster in Monster Hunter Wilds. The only ones who I got, kind of spoiled on coming back are Yankatku and Gravios so far. So if I am wrong, if you know if Seregios is coming back, if they've already announced it, whatever, please don't tell me. I don't want to know until I have the game in my hands. But being a flagship monster, it is almost guaranteed to come back in a future game, so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 to show up in a future non-Wilds game. Like I said, gotta keep things kind of short today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stick around till the end of the hunt if you can. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.
Hunting or are we not? Are you thinking about Dongo? Way back. I trust you hit your targets.